Hello everyone, welcome back to Bragging About Cinema. It has been a little while since my last post, and after really contemplating a few weeks on what I thought of the final episode of Kenobi, I'm ready to dive into it and tell you what I think and what I'm hoping for the future. My last review was after episode 4, so I never did one for episode 5. So this is really my thoughts on episode 5 and 6, which I actually thought were the two best. So we're going to jump right in on a positive note and say what I loved. I loved how they handled Darth Vader. I loved how strong he was in the Force, where we've seen Force users struggle to bring ships down. He went right in, he grabbed it and pulled it right down and split it apart. We also see a bit of a chess match between Obi Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader trying to figure each other out. And I loved, and I know this has been a few weeks since you've watched it, seeing old Anakin and Obi-Wan train again. What I thought that Kenobi did is really made the prequels better, and they did a better job on Kenobi of really showing us why Anakin's going to become this unlikable character. Now, of course, my favorite part of the entire season is when Kenobi splits his helmet off on Darth Vader, and we get to see half of his face, and they struggle with the voice box. It keeps changing as he's trying to talk. And I think that's when Vader's at his most menacing, where we almost see that he is down a path he can't come back. Now, we all know he eventually does, but I thought they really solidified him as this bad, dangerous villain that even the movies didn't quite set up. I really loved how Kenobi's character, he just kept on going on that Obi-Wan path, that a character that everybody absolutely loves. He was a bit of apprehensive for so much of the show to go back to that person. I loved how by the end he transformed, and it seemed like he really realized what he needs to do moving forward. And then, of course, his old master comes back, like I had mentioned. I hoped he would. This show is really going to be judged on its side characters. And by side characters, I thought Leia. I know some people thought she was a bit annoying. I thought she brought a kind of a balance to the show where it wasn't all Star Wars Jedi versus the Sith. There were some light moments, and it was also showed us how much Obi-Wan cares for Luke and Leia. And the third sister, I know, is the one that got the most flack. I liked how they kind of wrapped up her story where she was actually trying to kill Darth Vader, because I didn't actually see that coming. We knew she was a Padawan that didn't quite die, but we didn't know what she was actually doing. And I don't like how they have kind of made it now where you can get stabbed by a lightsaber and live all the time. We've seen Darth Maul, the Inquisitor, Third Sister, probably some that I forgot, have survived that and even thrived. And at the end of Kenobi, Third Sister is kind of going off to we don't know where. The biggest complaint for this show was the music. If you are a professional wrestling fan and your favorite wrestler switches from WWE to AEW, but they don't have their music and they come out to some generic version and you see them come out, you don't get hyped because that's not the music you're accustomed to. I felt like it was a mistake to not have Star Wars classic music throughout. I thought it would have made the viewing on this significantly better. Especially Vader with the Imperial March, and even any of the other classic Star Wars songs would have helped. I know the director wanted to wait until the last episode to make it more impactful, but I felt like because the prequels used that same music, it bridges the gap between prequels and the originals. So I wish they would go back and recut it and fix that. I just never got into the score for this one like I have for pretty much everything else Star Wars related. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a solid B+. It wasn't perfect. There was some times where I couldn't just quite get into it. Anytime Obi-Wan or Darth Vader were on the screen, though, absolutely loved it. I know that they're thinking of a season 2. I'm curious where that will go. Maybe that will be focusing on the training between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Other than that, you can't think that they're going to have another Darth Vader encounter. I thought it was odd that he said, I'm going to finish this, just like he did at the end of Revenge of the Sith. And it was basically almost the same outcome. He didn't completely leave Darth Vader burning in a pile of lava like last time, but he didn't finish him. And it kind of feels like we've now come to the point where they cannot kill each other. And I liked Sidious's at the end saying he is conflicted. And you kind of got that from the show, but I'm not 100%. But I loved how the show mostly played off as a rivalry between the two, and they're trying to reconcile what happened. So if you like this, hit that subscribe button below. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up. After a few weeks after the show has come out, what do you think? Sometimes you gotta sit there and your initial reaction is, I loved it or I hated it, but then you think about it for a while and you're like, yeah, but they did this, or oh man, they did that. So sometimes it's fun to revisit a few weeks later. So let me know what you think below, because when you watch my videos, you're going to find something to brag about.